So, why are Filipinos so fixated on beauty pageants? If K-pop is equal to Korea, then, beauty pageant is equal to Philippines. Hey there, Zesties! You're tuning in to the Gleeful Talkshow, where we share zesty stories to cultivate the happiness and hero within and out. On the show, we talk about personal experiences, development, society, and culture. So if these are the topics that you are interested in, then please stay tuned. I'm your host, Glee, and today we are discussing an exhilarating journey deep into the heart of Filipino culture, where the world of beauty pageants reigns supreme. But this isn't just a story of beauty pageant. It's a story of obsession, resilience, and soaring dreams, and it's uniquely Filipino. The reason why I also thought about doing this episode is because of the upcoming Miss Universe pageant culmination this month, November, and a new queen will be crowned for this year. However, days before this much awaited event, as of this recording, there has been a lot of explosive, surprising turn of events. In a shocking twist, Zesties, just a week before the International Miss Universe pageant, the Thai owner JKN Global Group has filed for bankruptcy, citing a liquidity problem. Led by transgender CEO N, the company purchased the Miss Universe brand for 20 million last year, aiming to align with the pageant's growing inclusivity. Despite the financial turmoil, JKN will continue operating, and the Miss Universe competition scheduled for the following Saturday remains unaffected. However, the company faces a critical hearing on the 29th of January in the Thai bankruptcy court as it grapples the mounting debts, missing a 12 million payment due on 1st of September. This financial setback adds another layer to the Miss Universe saga, coinciding with a separate scandal involving Australia's representative Moriah Wilson. Allegations about her family's business dealings, including her parents' bankruptcies, with debts totaling 45 million, have triggered public calls for her resignation. Moriah, however, denies involvement and intends to compete in the pageant despite the petition. I have to say that she's very courageous and still going for the pageant, still going there to compete despite all the scandals and allegations. Good on her to really, push for that. Despite her being involved or not with these allegations, who are we to judge at the moment? So let's just continue to perhaps support the advocacy of Miss Universe. But those negativities and scandals aside, today's episode, we are going to talk more of a much more hopeful topic, and that is about the Filipinos' obsession, I would say, to Miss Universe. And if I remember it right, even like before when I was still living in the Philippines, everyone, it's the talk of the nation, not only talk of the town. So everyone is watching it. Everyone is anticipating for it, especially if the people feels that the candidate is very strong. And I think that this year's Filipino representative is a strong contender for the crown. But I haven't really been following it, but I've seen it on the social media. So, and then when when you see it on social media, you tend to fall in the rabbit hole of these types of things. Let's segue, Zesties, to the root of why us Filipinos are into the world of pageantry. And if you're a Zesty who is not a Filipino, let me know whether your culture, your country is into this type of events or pageantry. Let me know in the comments down below or email gleefultalkshow@gmail.com. So, Zesties, let's get into it. The Philippines is an archipelago made up of over 7,000 islands, making giant waves in the world of beauty pageants. And according to the data wizards at Statista, the Philippines is right up there, neck and neck with the United States, ranking second globally in the big four beauty pageants. Now, you might be asking, what's the magic behind this incredible success story. To uncover the mystery of the Philippines beauty pageant obsession, we need to take a time machine back to the days when empires ruled and the nation spirit was forged. A captivating saga unfolds deeply rooted in Filipino culture, a culture influenced by both Spanish and American colonization. The brilliant Dr. May Farales and the intrepid anthropologist Fenella Canel uncovered the historical tapestry that gave birth to beauty pageants in the Philippines. We're talking about a time when affluent families would enter their daughters into these pageants, hoping to score them advantageous marriage proposals if they emerged victorious. Fast forward to the American colonial era, where this obsession didn't just arrive, it thrived. In 1908, the first Manila Carnival National Beauty Contest was the stage for celebrating U.S. Philippine friendship and the dazzling beauty and talent of Filipino women. And of course, this has continued on. If you're a Filipino listening to this, you might remember the fiestas that we had. It always had this like city type or barangay beauty pageants and even like other shows, even like gay beauty pageants of some sorts as well. So that's very interesting to see and hear that it really actually stemmed from those colonial periods. And of course, what's captivating about us Filipinos is our love for underdog tales. I mean, who doesn't, right? I think everyone, not even Filipinos, love underdog tales. We are natural born supporters of the David versus Goliath narrative. It's this very spirit that Filipino sociologist Dr. Lou Antolihao highlighted, especially in our love for basketball, where smaller players take on giants. So the same spirit thrived in beauty pageants where height often reigns supreme. When a Filipino contestant stands tall amidst towering rivals, it's a symbol of resilience against global forces, reflecting our history of colonization. It's the thrill of witnessing the underdog take flight. I guess maybe before we might be seen as an underdog, but and even now, as what I've mentioned, we are right up there in the big four types of pageants. But I guess when we were first starting out, there were, trailblazing Filipinas who won these prestigious beauty pageants, and that has really fueled the country's love for these types of narrative as well. We are conquering the world or the universe, as we would say, right? And of course, it's interesting because us Filipinos are not really endowed with height, right? But especially as you know, there is a height requirement in these types of beauty pageants. But seeing a Filipino or at least half Filipino compete in those beauty pageants give us hope and root for our fellow kababayans. So yeah, I mean, like, I kind of understand as a Filipino as well. You root for these people, you root for your fellow women, right? And beauty pageants in the Philippines aren't just about fancy tiaras and sparkling gowns. Of course, that's a big part of it, right? But they're portals to dreams. Picture this: young women from diverse backgrounds vying for a chance at their dreams. Winning isn't just about the crown, it's about unlocking doors to modeling, entertainment, and meaningful advocacy. And from what I've heard now, it's not only going to be young women. There has been a huge rule change in the Miss Universe pageantry. Now, all women 18 and over can compete in the beauty pageant. This will start from 2024, which is indeed a good news for all women. So I'm hoping that, this bankruptcy thing and the scandals and all the pageantry would transcend against all of this. As I mentioned, it is a beacon of hope for other women out there, right? This pageantry, because it opens doors for them. And so previously the rule was that ages 18 to 28 can only join Miss Universe and Miss USA. But now all women, you can even be married, so you can be like Mrs. Universe, I would maybe. And, I think trans women can join as well because the owner is also a trans woman. So the playing field will be very different. The landscape of the competition has evolved, I have to say. It's going to be very interesting on how they are going to incorporate those new paradigms in a pageantry that has been like this over the years. So we will see how it plays out. Let's hope for the best about this. But yes, going back to the history why us Filipinos love watching these types of pageant. Janine Tugonon, who leaped from her beauty pageant victory to become a successful model in the United States. I think she didn't really win, if I remember that right, but she was maybe a finalist, but then she used that as her stepping stone to become a successful model in the US. And, she comes from humble beginnings. So she's just one example of how these contests can transform lives and empower young women to chase their dreams. And it's not just individual triumph, right? Beauty pageants are woven in the very fabric of the Philippine society. Gloria Diaz's groundbreaking Miss Universe win in 1969 rewrote the script, filling a poverty stricken nation with pride and hope. Today, the Philippines is synonymous with beauty pageant success. I would have to say that if K pop is equal to Korea, then, beauty pageant is equal to Philippines. I might be, saying too much there, but I mean, that's just to have that bit of comparison. But of course, there are other countries who are also very big in pageantry, like the Latin America and I think Thailand as well. So yeah, I mean, it's good to see that the Philippines is also giving their best in the world stage, right? And these pageants, of course, are more than just glitzy spectacles. They're platforms for showcasing culture and shining a spotlight on global issues. The media's fervent coverage and the audience's unwavering support ignite contestants' determination to make their work. Of course, I think in this version, I'd say, or on the new Miss Universe, I heard that after JKN Group has taken it on board, they have been very vocal about the changes in the Miss Universe pageantry, where they are more focusing on transformational women leaders, advocacy, and all of that, not really more on the glitz and glamour. And it's good to hear that because before, frankly, watching these pageants, although I'm fascinated by it, I don't actually really believe that they are as passionate advocates as they say they are. I mean, again, this is me just being skeptic, but I'm not saying everyone, but I'm sure that not everyone is as passionate as what they say they are in their advocacy, So, but I mean, it's not on them. I mean, because this pageantry is a door to success from, from modeling, entertainment industry, endorsements, and etc. And if, if one of the criteria is for you to have an advocacy, then you have to be on board with it, right? So I don't blame women who just takes advocacy just for the heck of it, just for the heck of entering Miss Universe. I don't blame them at all. It's part of the competition, right? So it's not that it's a fault, but I'm just saying that of course, I don't think everyone would be as passionate. And I guess there were some as well who people even bashed online. I can't remember who they are. I'm not really that embedded in this beauty and pageantry type of thing, but I'm seeing a lot of posts on social media, which I highly support as well, because this again is a cause for celebration for all the Filipino people. It's a beacon of hope. And again, let's address the elephant in the room. Not everyone sees these pageants through rose tinted glasses. And again, same as me. So critics argue they perpetuate unrealistic beauty standards and objectify women. The debate isn't exclusive to the Philippines, it's a global conversation. Yeah, it does in a sense, especially that the criteria is how, how women might need to be slender. I don't exactly know whether that's a criteria, but I did hear or read about something. There was a beauty, I think in this current Miss Universe, there was a contestant who was a bit, how should I put it? There was a contestant there that was not I'd say, deviating from the slender type of norm. So people were bashing her as well. So it's like, where do you stand? Like, if you are someone, if Miss Universe is accepting now these types of body types, or celebrating these body types, the people or the society bashes that person. I mean, like, where do you stand? Like, it's quite interesting. And of course, there was a question about the swimsuit competition as well, whether is there really a need to have these swimsuit competitions, because you are objectifying women to show like skin, etc., etc., etc. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't think that it's really objectifying women, but that in a sense as well, that maybe back then, maybe that was kind of the culture, but I don't think now it is. Maybe it's just part of the tradition now that it's there's a swimsuit competition. And of course, I have to say that women who are comfortable with their skin is also really, is also transformational, or is also good, like celebrating your skin, showing it off. As they say, if you have it, flaunt it, right? So I'm a huge proponent of that. So, the people just have different view of things, and I guess how they view things is how they view themselves as well. So, I mean, I'm just gonna stop there. So yeah, in the grand finale, we can't ignore the fact that beauty pageants in the Philippines aren't just a pastime. They are a multi-million peso industry, a captivating show of culture and identity, and a testament to the nation's spirit. So, why are Filipinos so fixated on beauty pageants? It's a captivating story of culture, resilience, and dreams. Whether you're a devoted fan or a critical observer, one thing is clear: beauty pageants have left an indelible mark on Filipino culture, and they're here to stay. So, as we close the curtains on today's episode, Zesties, I encourage you to subscribe, share, and leave us your thoughts. We'll be back soon with more captivating tales from the tapestry of world cultures, personal development, and society. Until then, keep exploring and celebrating the rich diversity that makes our world extraordinary. And once again, thank you so much for the Zesties who keep on supporting the podcast. Share, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for our patrons, Jem, who has been very supportive of the podcast. Thank you so much. And Zesties, I'll see you next time.